into this time machine, and with it I visited older versions of Brookhaven. We'll be starting out with the first version of the game, Brookhaven from 1903. That's exactly what you heard. They're celebrating Happy New Year 1903. That's a whole long time ago. I wasn't even born yet. We'll start by seeing how the grocery store was before. Oh, I guess that didn't exist all this time ago. Looks like there's nothing in here yet, neither the apartments or any other stores like the arcade. This place is fully empty. All that was starting to be built at this point was the police station, and it wasn't even done at this point. As you can clearly see, they didn't even have a roof yet, for example, but it surely already resembles how the station looks nowadays, with all the walls already in place for the cells and stuff like that. They even have the gun rack as well as that little office room with the cabinets. Comment down below if you've ever played Brookhaven at that time. Running to the other side of town, we can find the stables in quite an unexpected place. Some stuff is different, like this animal pen that's just opened up. I feel like there's something missing here. Even the proper stables and the other building kinda look different from what I'm used to. There's also this other round pen for other animals like pigs or even chickens. That isn't the weird part. What I think is weirdest is Mr. Brookhaven house all put together. Because if you play the game, you know that his house is normally found always in an abandoned and broken down state. But in this map, it's all pretty much all okay. The stairs and even the roof is just like a regular house without any of the holes we normally find in it, which makes it look like someone actually lives here now, since there's tons of Christmas decorations around it. Ain't that cool? There's clothes, there's a Christmas tree, they're decked out. Looks like a great family home. But Brookhaven 1903 doesn't have much in it at all beyond the police station being built, the stables, and Mr. Brookhaven's house. It's simply just a ghost town at this point. Now this one here is Brookhaven from 2021. This is one of the first versions of this game that came out in Roblox. As you can see, can't find anything at spawn, so I'm sure it wasn't exactly like this. There's supposed to be stuff here. The map is probably just bugged out. I'm not sure if this was part of it, but is this a map of the old Brookhaven town? That's so interesting. Look at that! Where we find the hospital, normally you can find this park with tons of places with some toys to play around with. So do we actually have that in this map? Oh, forest? I didn't expect a sign with forest, so I guess the map was right. Looks like there's an actual park in town with toys to play with, as well as tons of trees all around the place. They even had some little spots for camping. I can surely see myself roasting some marshmallows here. They also had not only one but two sand pits with toys on them, so it was a park for a ton of kids to play in. As you can see, this is where the hospital normally is, but at this point there's nothing. It's weird to not have a hospital in a city. They're very important. The bank was right over here, which is also odd, since nowadays it's on the other side of the street beside a bunch of stores. It's also a lot simpler with no ATM machine at this side. And what about the second floor? I think the vault door should be right here, but it probably bugged out on this map. Even the vent that helps you run away from here wasn't even added. Beyond the bank, the stores that were normally beside are completely closed up as they are still under construction. Don't try to get to it as there's nothing inside them at this point, since they didn't add anything in there, which is very weird to see for sure. Another curious thing is that the grocery store wasn't part of town as what we had was. This store called Brookhaven Dealership in the middle of nowhere. So what we call today the auto mall was here, with those car lifts that we still have today. Inside is where you'd normally pay for your vehicle and for the repair of it as well. You probably have heard about the Burger Barn at some point, as a ton of YouTubers have talked about it. Even I have some videos on it. It was simply a fast food place that was in place of Brooks Diner. Here you'd find workers doing some burgers and all kinds of nice foods. They also had this very suspicious vent system. Can we go into it? Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Didn't know this place had their secret passage. Apparently someone sat around here to talk with another person sitting beside them. Those are some old secrets I've never talked about in the channel, since I wasn't in the game at this point. Don't think much about all these cars, as they weren't here and neither are on the newest update. Something that did change a lot was the Blackhawk community that was here before. You'll also see that the motel was in front of the pool, which is very odd. For some reason, this one has 2 floors to it, which is very weird to me. So I guess they deleted the second floor and just left one nowadays? The Blackhawk community I talked about was one of the neighborhoods you could live in. Here you could get your house on one of these sides, with 4 plots available to the players, which is very little, since Brookhaven does feel empty with only few players with their homes. So a community with only only 4 people should have felt so empty that they decided to remove it outright. Here is Lake Madison. Yes, it did have water before. Surely the map is bugged out, which is why the yacht was already here. So yes, it is just a bug that happened. But the log cabin that you find right here wasn't in here yet. It was just empty space. Now if we run over to the top of the mountain, we'll be able to see that there wasn't that big hole in the middle of the mountain. They still didn't make the whole valley with the plot at the bottom for you to live in. In this version, there was no hole. It was just the tip of the mountain here. We're right now inside of Brookhaven from 2022. This version of the game already resembles how it is nowadays. Even more as you see that the grocery store was already here, even though it was a bit different. As you can see, it was quite bigger than it was before the latest update. You can notice it just by how this pizza part is quite different. Apparently, there was also this fridge with a bunch of sandwiches that isn't around anymore, which does make sense as that doesn't sound too good. They also had this little storage room with only 2 boxes for some reason. Now going outside and then to the upper floor, you'll find Sunny's Restaurant, which was a restaurant we had before on top of the grocery store. As you know, this is where the apartments are today, but in this version, all we had was this restaurant and this storage room. It had a bunch of foods and drinks as well. They even had a balcony table if you wanted to have a romantic outing with your partner. In this version, we still had the burger barn just like we saw on the version before, but here we already had the diner and the motel right where it is nowadays. Something different it had was Tube TV, which is where they recorded the news before. There actually was a whole building just to do these sorts of recordings. Remember that it was right where the airport is, so what else was here in place of it? The airport didn't even exist back here yet. In its place, we had a different kind of Brookhaven stables. Here's where you find horses and all kinds of animals, quite different than it is now. If you've been playing Brookhaven for a while, you know the stables are normally right over here. In this version, Mr. Brookhaven's house was already destroyed and abandoned, as you can clearly see. The stores were already in place as well. They weren't under construction anymore. The hospital and fire station were already here, but they did remove the fire truck that's here as well as the lift that's holding it up. Probably because it doesn't make sense for it to be in the fire department. That's an auto shop thing. The bank was already in its place as well as some of the other stores. We still had this store called the Cleaners that has since been removed. It was one of those places to clean your clothes, but it also could take you to this secret passage as well. An odd little thing is that the clothing store actually had stairs to the 2nd floor. Here you'd find hats as well as some backpacks you could buy. They also had these changing rooms for you to test your looks, but that has since been changed and it looks quite different. That's why we're in a version before the latest Brookhaven update. This one's almost identical with the one we have nowadays, but of course the grocery store has been remodeled. I mean, it hasn't been remodeled yet, and this version of it has been in the game for 2 years. The other stores have also kept the same way for quite a while already. You can even see the stairs have already been removed from here as well, probably because they reused the upper floor for this little dentist's office, so you could come here to do your dental appointments and all. On the other side, we had the Brookhaven shelter that could be more than just that, but you must already know that as it's been here for quite a while. At this point, the dealership was still on this version of the game, since in the latest update, this place has been removed and you won't find it anymore. That fire truck was already removed with the lift, of course. The stables can already be found in their proper location. You can even see it's right in front of the farm as always. Burger Barn was switched out for the mall on this one. And on top of the grocery store, the apartments have been added. Tube TV has been taken out too, and we have the airport in place of it, as I said before. Just so you know, Tube TV was reused for this TV station place, which is just like it. Now they record the news in this place inside the mall. This time we're in the latest update of Brookhaven. If you watch the channel, you probably know all about it already, with the whole grocery remodel and stuff. I think it looks a lot prettier this way. Give it a premium air to it. What I mean is that it looks more sophisticated and very well modeled. They added a bunch of new stuff like this storage room. There's much more room than we had before. I also found a bunch of subs in here too. Apparently tons of them have joined the game as well. Shout out to everyone that came out. And if any of you watching want to show up in videos like this, go follow my Roblox profile. It's at NanndoYT. Just click the 3 little dots and then the follow button and you'll be able to join public games I'm playing and even show up on videos from time to time. Alright guys, let's explore explore this new update right quick, since if you guys watch the channel, you've heard all about what was added on this one. I already showed the secrets from the auto shop and all kinds of weird stuff I could find. So this is the new auto mall, as I said the dealership stuff, and put it over here now. Now you can both buy and repair your car at the same place. This update made places look more modern, like what they did with Brookhaven Bank. I really liked what they did with this place. It looks great, even if those places are iconic, since they were a part of my childhood and all. But things get updated, just like they did with Rockstar, but it was surely for the better. Look at this clothing store. I think it looks so much better than before. It was a whole lot darker before. I didn't really like it, but nowadays it has a nicer look that I enjoy a lot. Brookhaven is always updating, and that was only one of the updates we had. We don't know what else can happen. So please leave your likes on this video and subscribe to the channel for even more. Comment down below if you like this update. Also watch one of the videos on screen right now. I know you're gonna love them. Thank you for watching. See you later. Have a good one.